Bluey fans, young and old, hello. Put down the tools. I know you've been working hard in the workshop all day, but it's time to, take a load off. Turn off the compound miter saw. Power down that new linear attachment to your bench grinder that you're so proud of. And also, when it's safe to do so, take off your safety glasses that you've been wearing because you're very conscientious. And most importantly, remove your hearing protection because otherwise you won't be able to hear these gentlemen talk about this kids show that we love. Hello, Frank.
Hello.
And, Martin.
Hello.
Wow, Martin.
Wait, hang on, whoa.
Something's different.
What? Something's different.
Yeah. He's sounding very close. I don't think there's any lag to deal with.
No.
And there's not like a video screen between us and him.
And I can...
Is he real?
Please don't touch me.
This episode of the Hammer Barn Project is called Bum Worms.
Marty's here!
Yay! It's so good, guys.
You made it through. You snuck.
Did.
I mean, unofficially,
It's
of course.
true.
We're not advertising your location to
Officially,
ASIO or something like that.
He did all the things that he needed to do.
I did all the things I needed to do.
No, for only the third time in the Hammer Barn Project history, Martin is sitting here with us, and we're very, very happy to have him.
Super pumped.
Happy to be here, guys.
While you're here, Marty, let's do what we always do and talk about an episode of Bluey because, come on.
Why not? This episode of Bluey is called Bumpy and the Wise Old Wolfhound.
Yes, it is. Mm-hmm. And what else is called that is the little video that's in the episode.
Well, this is one of the few times that the show messes with the famous title card, and that there's only a couple of others I can think of where they change it up a little bit. This one, it's not actually even full screen because you're presenting the whole thing through the window of an iPad, which I think is a really cool little vehicle.
Yeah.
The one thing, and I love this episode because it's another one of those classic things, beautifully done, funny, great moral of the story, but the one thing I will say it doesn't do well, and I'm sure Marty will get to all this in his bare bones, but the one thing this does not do well is serve as an introductory episode to Bluey. My boss, I was talking about the fact that I do this show.
Oh, no.
And my boss said, I've heard about that. I heard my kids talking about it. I was like, mate, just watch it. Just any episode, you'll be right. He picked this one as his first ever. If you've never seen Bluey at all, and he watched this, he goes, what was the thing? It was like really bad acting, and then there was like these weird camera things. It's like they didn't know what they were. And I thought, wait, were they wearing purple pants? Yes. He goes, oh, mate, you picked the single worst episode to do.
I love that you were able to diagnose that so quickly. Like, he's watched an episode of Bluey, his first one, and he didn't immediately catch on to everything that was, oh no, he's seen Bumpy and the Wise Old Wolfhound, the one that you shouldn't. You're like the episode doctor.
Well, Marty, if I'm the episode doctor, can you please diagnose this episode for us and give us a bit of bare bones, please?
Yeah, sure. So this episode, I think, is clearly paying respects to self-reflexive cinema. So like the adaptation, Spike Jones or Cinema Paradiso. So any sort of reflexive film is any film that makes you aware of the filmmaking process. So in this one, the constant use of cutting and those sorts of things.
So Blair Witch Project? Yep.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that sort of thing. No, it's an episode in which Bingo is at the hospital. And she gets sent a video, which seems to have been lovingly created by her family to support her in her time of need.
That in itself is really touching and nice.
Just
the effort of the family to support Bingo in a tricky time for her really comes through the whole time. It's really nice.
Now, I had the question, well, this is at the bottom of my notes, but I'm going to ask it now because it's relevant. Who do you think, whose idea was it? Who was the director of this thing?
Well, it's got to be Bluey, right? She's a bit of a control freak for that sort of thing. It's her sister, the one who's in hospital. I think she's scripted the whole thing, and she's gone, right, I'm the main star, of course, because that's what any kid her age would do. Uncle Stripes is clearly the cameraman, which probably explains a few of the hijinks we see.
And editor, maybe.
And also the fact that, you know, she's clearly made her dad out to be the one who has bum worms. So what kid wouldn't take that opportunity?
Favorite part of the episode right there.
It's so true. I think
Maybe not, but it is great. It's
I love
the zoom in, the crash zoom. I've got bum worms.
dump.
And Chili's like, oh, God, hand on the face, and the nurse is just laughing.
I think you've nailed it one there, Frank. I think I completely agree that it's Bluey's idea, but Uncle Stripes he's always wanted to be a little bit creative, and so this is his opportunity to be a, you know, director, cameraman, cinematographer type thing. And that's why you can tell it's kind of him behind the camera.
It was probably Bluey's brainchild.
Yeah.
But how into it and a part of the production Stripe is just my fave.
Well, he had to get those Windows Media Creator transition effects in there, right?
Yeah, exactly.
The star and the wipes and stuff. Like.
Maybe you can wish upon a star and then star wipe.
Yeah, exactly.
And sorry, I keep derailing this, but Bandit's acting.
I love that.
Because what's
It's
so
acting within acting.
What's so funny about it is, like, there's so many levels, inside levels in this episode, because Bandit, you know, whenever he's playing with the kids at any other time, he's just awesome. He's straight in. He's such a method actor. So it begs the question: is it just because the camera's on that he just kind of freezes and is terrible, or is it part of the act? Like he's intending to do that. I don't actually care that I don't know. The other thing that's within the thing, and you touched on it, Marty, when you said like the whole episode fixing the camera, we can edit that part out, right?
Yeah.
All the things, any storytelling where you're aware that the story is being told, doesn't that tie in with the title card? Because the episode of Bluey itself has the storytelling part of the episode.
Yeah.
It's
So
very cool,
so it's like another layer on top of that. So we know that the story's being told, and then the episode has part of the story to tell the normal flow of the episode story with the title card. See, I said the same thing, but then I said it again slightly differently.
That helps make it so much clearer, doesn't it?
No, it doesn't.
Now, we've touched on the existence and the use of clothes in the Blueyverse before.
You got that before me, Frank.
But, you know, purple pants, okay, it makes sense for the vehicle of the episode, and you have to, you know, that's what they're looking for. And then there's a couple of moments when both Bluey and Bandit at some point, for the purposes of the story, drop their pants, and Bingo and Chili and the nurse occasionally reacts quite poorly to this guy. And I'm like, but he never wears any pants.
So he's just reverting to what he normally is.
I don't want to see that. That thing I see every other day of the year. Like,
I thought one of the other things I noted in this is the reason why they have washing machines and stuff like that, or it doesn't make sense. Because the doctors are wearing clothing. The doctors and the nurse are wearing scrubs.
they are.
So, you know, apparently some people wear clothing.
Only the important people.
Only the important people.
Not the
People
average
who need it.
suburban family in
People-
inner Brisbane.
People who need it to communicate what type of character they are wear clothing.
yeah, exactly.
I actually want to take us all the way back to the establishing shots. All right.
Go for
it. I think Bluey establishing shots are always brilliant. Really, aren't they? They're just like, they spend
good.
they're so
They
good.
think about
Because
it.
they really think about it. I think this one, more than anything else, shows me the amount of effort they put into texture of the world. Because you've got the shiny balloon and the flowers in the shiny box with the ribbon and all those things, which have
And
that
the greeting card, the get well soon card with some design on it.
and there's a couple of, you know, like doggy sort of designs on things.
All
but
sitting in the
just
window of the hospital.
all in the, and there's another, you know, like the other wing of the hospital's through the window or something like that, just to make it really strong.
Yeah,
But-
straight away, I'm in a hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's even, I don't know whether I always use the word evocative, but it is very, you know, you're immediately there because they're the sort of flowers that you bought downstairs at the little booth that they have, those sorts of things.
Well, you can stop using the word evocative when the show stops being so gosh darn evocative.
And then even just, panning out and you have the next sort of shot where it's obviously the kids part of the hospital because they've got, most of it is that white sort of, or beige sort of color or like standard color. But then there's one bright, colorful painting type thing, which just puts you right in the place. But there's one other thing. People
I think the one that got me is the power
points. Yeah. 240 volts.
240 volts.
Yeah, there you go. Shout out to our bros, the bandits.
I had a look. Do you know why they're red?
It's something to do with
Are they 15 amp?
the circuits they're on for the medical equipment that goes in them.
That's right. Well, it's the those are the ones that are attached to the generator. So if you're plugging in something that really needs to stay on, you put it in the red ones. Or, according to the Clipsal website, a lovely red color for your bedroom or bathroom. There's like a lovely red kitchen. You can have them there as well.
Hey, never miss a sales opportunity.
No, they really don't. But just the sort of euphemistic phrase of, we're going to, just to keep an eye on you. That's just such brilliant writing because those are the sorts of things that doctors and nurses always say. This sort of, I'm not going to say it exactly. We're going to have this jokey sort of way of like, people are sick and there are problems and stuff like that. And we're still concerned about your well-being. But just the idea of like, no, you might get into trouble if we let you out now. So it just, very much situates it as well. And
I think that's part of it being like obviously a children's hospital, part of the hospital where they didn't say we're going to keep you in overnight for observation. Bingo would be like, what does that mean?
And that's terrifying.
Yeah, exactly. There's lots of little cameos throughout this Bumpy and the Wise Old Wolfhound video. We get to see Lucky, of course. We get to see Mackenzie. Socks.
I love that. I love that all the friends are getting involved as well. Yeah, they all care about.
That's right. It's all been filmed. I do have one question though, which may break this episode. All right, the whole thing, it's really great, beautiful. Chili has a bit of a cry. There's the moral of the story hits home. I love that bit. But anyway, right at the end, see you tomorrow, bingo. They're all there waving. Socks attacks. They're all there in the shot.
Yeah.
Who is filming that last scene? I have to know because every person we see in this episode that is part of the production.
Is it a stationary shot?
I believe there's like a slow pan out.
Oh my goodness.
In which
Maybe
case,
it's Wendy.
Maybe it's Wendy. Morning, Wendy.
Morning, Wendy.
Maybe I'll have to rewatch it. And if it is like a slow track out, but if it's a zoom, then maybe it was stationary and it was like a post effect that they put in.
Yeah,
but if it's like
just on a tripod,
if it's a track, if it's an obvious like track out, then who knows what? Drone shot?
You saw the star wipes, right? I don't think they're using a drone.
Yeah, if someone's still using star wipes, I reckon drone might be out of their pay grade.
Well, I think given Lucky's in it, there's a good chance it might be Pat helping out.
Oh, that's a good point, actually.
Ropes him into it at the last
far more
minute.
likely than Wendy, to be honest.
Pat's always ready to get involved.
I did love, speaking of those cameos, Mackenzie doesn't really have any speaking lines, but Bluey goes back to her a couple of times and he's got one of those inflatable hammers like you get from the show, fixing the fence, and it's just doing that, just the faintest little when it's hitting the fence. It's the perfect sound effect. Like
I've got to say, because they're all the friends. I love that they're Bluey's friends helping out with Bingo.
Yeah, they're not Bingo's
They're not like
friends.
Bingo's
Yeah,
classmates.
Yep.
And so that's really nice. That's really sweet. And also, like, they're all wearing their underpants.
Yep.
And the only other person who's not usually wearing clothes, who is wearing clothes in this one, is Aunt Trixie.
Of course.
It's sort of like a dress or a robe or a thing.
Have you noticed?
And now I've got a couple of questions, and I'll let you take them, Marty, because I've got some ideas. But
Where did that robe come from?
Yeah.
Did you see the monogram lettering on it?
Yeah.
What was it again? Remind me.
CH.
Took me a couple of seconds to get there, but you get there.
Oh, okay. Chili healer.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I love it's got to be like the bathrobe that she got on her honeymoon in Bali.
Yeah.
That scene as well in the tent is great.
It's a great tent.
They've got the whatever.
I have a theory that it's
the crystal
actually
lamp, and there's
the
like a
geode.
geode.
Yeah.
They've
really gone
gotta be
all out
bandits
in the
and
art design. I've got a theory that it's actually Stripe's tent, I think. Because they, when they go to the beach... roll up magazine. When they go to the beach, whack, they've got a different tent. And this is like a serious camping tent. And I don't know, I reckon Stripe's a bit of a nut for like the camping gear and all the nice, like he's got all
being
the good,
prepared.
He's got all the good stuff. Yeah. Like when they go camping, get that magazine again. Just like, this is mine. I think I know where Muffin gets it.
Can we talk about the other star of this episode? Muffin.
Mm-hmm.
Like, as much as,
Last year.
I was sick last year.
I was sick last week.
Did I do it right, Dad? And she just can't. Thanks, Bluey. Barnacus. And you just see her face twitch as she's really
Muffin, that's my
concentrating.
good bars.
Everything about. I know Muffin tends to cop a lot of stuff from people. When people go, "Oh, who's your favorite character?" People are like, "Oh, Muffin's so annoying."
Muffin's real.
She's adorable.
Muffin is real.
It's a very good way to put it. She's adorable.
We all know a Muffin. If you don't know a Muffin, you're the Muffin.
I think we have to have a quick run around of just like all the stuff ups there are in this. So like, there is a lot.
Just Bandit's acting in general just cracks, like looking at the camera and looking off. And
there's a few different people who do sort of look to camera and then realize that they're not meant to be looking at the camera and then look off. There's obviously the fubbing of lines and then somehow editing it such that the fubbing of lines remains. It's like there's no editing. We can edit that out, right? Of course. What else we got?
Many days and nights passed and you've got Bandit and Muffin. Passing the cardboard signs of day and night.
The effort they put in this video.
Yeah, but nice. Then they're just small enough that you can make out through the gap in the window who's holding it, and then Muffin just stacks it at one point.
And there's what's the other one?
Oh, there's the poop joke. Now is that?
Oh yes, of course.
Is that here for our American and international listeners? Maybe that just cuts. Off. Maybe that scene just cuts off a couple of seconds earlier.
We ought to make a YouTube supercut of all the poop jokes and all the things that might have got cut out.
Probably go for about 7 minutes.
American Disney Plus and UK CBeebies.
There was one I noticed.
It would be a disgusting video.
I noticed one just when we were watching together. There's a point at which I think it is when you're watching the day and night go past, so it's quite distracting. But one of the dots falls off socks. and Bluey just quickly puts it back on.
Nice.
Oh, and of course, there's like wish upon a star, and then the background just drops. It's like Bandit just drops the background,
holding it with a stick.
That's it.
Of course, we do long dog spotting now, which is, and it's usually something, a little character you try and pick out of the background. It actually appears very briefly, but when there's a montage of Bluey helping Socks get better, she's reading her some books and turns the page in a book, and there's the long dog in the book.
Long dog in the book. In the story.
In the book, within the video, in the iPad.
It keeps on going. It's like a fractal.
A what?
Let's move on.
Let's move on.
The heart of this episode.
That's going in there.
What?
Maths jokes.
Oh, Jesus. And I get called the nerd. Look, the heart of this episode is really beautiful, where it's, the moral realizes that we're trying to teach Bluey that everyone gets sick sometimes, and it's the message is for Bingo. Bingo's so enthralled by the fact she's got this video that's been made for her, and you sort of see Chili sort of, try and hold back the tears. Yeah. The music goes all soft, and it's like, like just to really emphasize if your heartstrings aren't being pulled enough.
And just like when, I got a message from your dad. Oh, it's a video. And Bingo, can I press play?
Yeah.
Now, Here's my catchphrase. I'm not a dad.
Okay, there it is. Mark that one off in your calendars, people. Yep.
Check. Done it for this episode.
It's Brendan Bingo, circle.
Oh, that's
one.
one for this episode. Usually there's 19. But Nora's big on the my niece Nora. She's big on the whole. Oh, can I press play? Can I play? And then when it's time to go to bed, it's like, oh well, you can play for 5 minutes. We'll set a timer and you can press play. You can press start on the timer, or you want to stop the timer. Big on the whole pressing the button is a big
Being
thing.
the one to press it.
It's
And
a
I think-
very real moment.
And the sort of, pairing for that for me in the real moments is again, which is
right.
that classic
Yeah,
thing. Just like, as many times as possible. And then one last time. And then one extra last time.
Yeah.
Again.
We were talking about cameos. Do any of you guys know who does the voice for Aunt Trixie? Have we talked about it before?
Have we talked about
I'm
it?
pretty sure we have, haven't we?
You know what?
Maybe we haven't.
I reckon we've talked about it off mic, but I don't think it's in any of our episodes.
Did we talk about it?
What other episode?
Did we talk about it in Christmas Swim?
That's a good question.
Because
Maybe.
Aunt Trixie's in that.
Maybe
Anyway,
we did mention it.
My memory is terrible these days. So
We're dads. We're allowed to repeat the same story more than once.
Yeah, that's
what
right.
we do.
Yeah, we're dads.
Because my memory is terrible these days. So, no, it's Miff Warhurst. So, I remember from Triple J. She used to do the evening set forever. So I was always listening to it when I was doing my homework at high school. But
Triple J, Double J. She did.
Yes, of course.
She does these days. She does the Eurovision.
Right.
She's on the desk with you, and
she was on
Spicks and Specs.
Spicks and Specs. I
That's
couldn't
the one where a
remember
lot
the
of
name of
people
it.
know
That's
it.
it.
Spicks and Specs.
So it's nice familiar voice. Another nice, sort of Australian.
Indy's mum as well, I believe.
She's the voice of Indy's mum.
Yeah.
Wow.
I will
She
be.
has range.
If she's not, I'll be removing that. But, yet another window into my.
Into the editing world of Brendan.
I say we leave it like the Bumpy thing and just like everything stays.
We can edit that bit out.
We
Right?
can edit that bit out, right? Oh, well, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Having you in the room, Marty man, there just ain't nothing not like it. There were three.
Marty's in the room. Can we just do it again?
I don't enjoy having to turn my head. You're over there and you're over there.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Imagine.
You're usually there.
Is that something, now be honest, is that a joke you're making or is that genuinely something that you noticed is different?
I genuinely noticed.
Yeah, like
it's
moving
different.
my head. Usually we're on the same screen.
Yeah, that's right. And I'm not even making eye contact with you because my camera's on a laptop that's sitting on the desk.
Exactly.
I'm just
This is
staring
nice.
off into space.
Or you could
You
be like,
looking us in the eyes for once. Like,
yeah.
or you could be like me
bit-
when you're zooming someone. I very rarely am looking at the person. I'm usually looking at me in my little,
Oh,
in the
look at
little
that
preview
guy.
window.
I would
How handsome.
love to know how many people out of all the people who use Zoom are doing that. Because
Look,
I'm fairly sure I do.
Why
it
am
as
I
well.
admitting this on a microphone? But I do. I look at myself a lot in the thing.
It's captivating.
Nah, stick around. Please.
Please.
Can we keep you in this room for another episode of the Hammer Barn Project?
Of course you can, Brendan.
It's a plan.
You've tied me to the chair.
Yeah.
That's why it's a pain to turn my head.
See you tomorrow, Marty.
Well, we'll see Marty next time. Yeah. But until then, thought you guys were going to join me on that one, but nope, I'm on my own.
That's great. Leave that.
Am I the only one excited that Marty's going to be here next time? I guess maybe I am. But I am excited to have had Marty in the room. He'll be here next time. And until next time, you know where to catch us. Aisle 300.
Left at the fake grass.
If you hit a flamingo, you've gone too far.
Again.
Created and produced by Frank, Brendan and Marty. You can follow the Hammer Barn Project on facebook.com/HammerBarnProj, at HammerBarnProj on Twitter, or HammerBarn_project on Instagram. Theme featuring Nibblings, Kaylee, Jade, Ashley and Reese, and PA announcements by brother-in-law, me, Josh. Thanks for listening, and remember to get down to Hammer Barn for cheap shovels.